Hi and welcome to City Update. I'm Sherry Kropp and my guest today is Scott Bullard. He is the Emergency Management Coordinator for the city. Scott, in response to COVID-19, what has the city been doing? Have they been taking extra steps and precautions in response to this?
Yeah, the city's been following kind of the accepted guidance and really first and foremost, we've been managing the public's concern and managing a great deal of information. There's misinformation out and confusion, and we understand that. And much like we're doing right now, we're trying to get the word out so that people understand the facts and they know what to believe and what to follow. For instance, social distancing is the key action right now. We're asking for people to help mitigate the problems we have with the virus.
And I know we're standing a little bit close just for the purpose of the interview, but we really should be
ideally a span of about 6 feet, which is the length of my reach here, or you might say 2 doorways, if you'd prefer to measure it that way on a double door, gives you about 6 feet. But I think the point to that, that some people have missed is we want a radius. Remember what's behind you and in front of you, because if you're standing in a line situation, you may be fine on the sides, but you have people piled up around you. There's been a great deal of enhanced cleaning and deep cleaning measures that we don't typically do at the city, but we're trying to do in high traffic areas, especially where it involves a lot of density with people. And some of our services that affects obviously bus situations where people are riders on the bus, that's kind of a confined area. Visitors to our recreation facilities, but also in our police and fire stations where people are apt to be there many hours, if not day to day. We've been using some different techniques beyond what you would normally use at home with wipes and Clorox and mops and brooms and such. And one of those is electrostatic cleaning, because it adheres to surfaces rather than the old approach of taking a Lysol can and just spraying in the air when you lose half of what you're doing. These particles with the electrostatic foggers cling to the surfaces and give us a much deeper clean. We're even looking down the road at emergency cleaning for areas should we find some contamination or someone pass through that actually has the virus, which would be on a more depth of cleaning level than we're used to doing, where the space would be cordoned off and they would use much more than just the spraying and fogging.
And I know that a lot of the city staff, they are practicing the social distancing. We're trying to eliminate meetings with groups of people and things like that. So what can you tell viewers that are watching? What are some of the things that they can do as far as the COVID-19?
Sure, certainly. If you're sick, stay at home, please. Isolate at home and contact your provider for further instructions. If you need to be tested, there are a whole battery of instructions that provider will give you, or if you just have some general questions, that number that's been made available by the Cape Fear Valley Health System, the 615 link, they can answer your questions, because the idea is not to go to the hospital or to where your provider's office or a clinic. Let them instruct you so that if they do need you to come, they'll come get the sample from you if they need to test you. Or we're finding a lot of this can be just triaged over the phone, just simple questions that are specific to your personal needs.
And the city is working closely with the county, Cape Fear Valley, the health department, and things like that to keep residents informed and updated with what's going on.
We are, and there are so many efforts underway. The closures sometimes result in people teleworking, which we have city employees that are teleworking. And literally the city has a catalog of stuff online of things you can do remotely, which is taking the best use of the technology. And that's something we are struggling with daily to make sure that we've got all these tools, let's apply them and see how they work. But we also realize, first and foremost, not everybody has broadband and that kind of access. So we want you to stay tuned for information from the places you're used to getting it, whether it's this broadcast or the radio or whatever it might be.
Right. So residents can visit the city's webpage at FayettevilleNC.gov. There's a red alert banner up at the top. If you just click on that banner, that will give you updates and information about city services and programs that may have been postponed or canceled. We update that regularly, so make sure you check that. And Scott, are there any other websites where people can get information?
I think first and foremost, there's almost a deluge of websites, but there is an informational number that's out there that's been mentioned many times, and we don't want you to sit at home worrying about a question. If it's a general question, dial the 678, I believe it's 7657. That number will at least triage your question to where it needs to go, because I want to reiterate, there's a lot of misinformation or misunderstood information, and we want to clear away the confusion, because that's how we're going to conquer this virus situation.
Well, thank you so much for all that information, and thank you for watching the City Update. We'll see you next time.